Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lee Johnson, and today I'm going to actually do an old video. So back in 2019, December, when I, more or less started the channel in November 2019. But this one was recorded in December 2019, and I never actually published it. So I'm going to publish it today. So the rest of it's going to be an old video, so you're going to see all of this beautiful facial hair disappear, and I'm going to look really funny, but never mind that. The video is about the happiness technique, which was a technique that I was taught some years back by Yacoba Swat, and it's an excellent technique for basically getting what you want from people, and the way it works is just brilliant. So, and I've sent it to, it was uploaded as an unlisted video, which, as I say, so I didn't publish it, but I've actually sent it to a lot of people in the past couple of years, almost couple of years. So I thought, might as well just publish it now anyway. So after the intro, you'll see that. Hope you enjoy it. Cheers. I wanted to just share a technique that was taught to me by Yacoba Swat when I first met him, actually. It's called the happiness technique. Now, it might sound a bit silly, being the happiness technique, but it's actually used to influence other people into getting them to do what you want them to do. Now, the interesting thing about this is that you don't force them to do your will, basically. There's no forcing involved. What you do, you implant the thought into them, and then they come up with the idea, and therefore they think it's their own idea, and they take all the credit for it. But at the end of the day, you then get what you want. It's a very good technique to use on tyrants. And people who are basically just control freaks. So let me give you a bit of background about the nefesh first of all, because you need to understand what the nefesh is. I do need to do another video which explains the three selves more in depth, but I'm going to just give you an idea now. So in Kabbalah, we speak of the three selves. So there's a higher, middle, and lower self. The neshama is the higher self, or divine self, and then you have the ruach, which is the middle self, which retains memory, and then I think it's the active self, and then the lower self, which is the nefesh, which is the instinctual self. And the nefesh is, we talk about it being the lower self, and I think in a lot of people that kind of gives the idea that because it's the lower self that it's lower, and it's therefore not worth actually considering, that it doesn't really do much and things like that because it is the lower self. But the nefesh is quite potent, quite powerful. It does have access to everything, all knowledge, past, present, future, all knowledge of the entire cosmos. It's got immediate access to it, but it doesn't remember anything. It has no memory, which is where the ruach comes in. So if you've got a good relationship between the nefesh and the ruach, then you can access all knowledge and retain the memory of it. But that's getting a bit beyond what I'm trying to explain with the happiness technique. But I just need you to understand what the nefesh is. There's also a practice called identification, where you actually place your nefesh inside a body of an object, a stone, a tree, whatever it may be. And the reason you do this is to identify with it. So you access its memories, you access everything it feels, its emotions, its thoughts, everything. And you might think, okay, a stone and a tree doesn't have thoughts and emotions. You'd be surprised. So with identification, you actually move your nefesh into the nefesh and sort of bond and combine it with the nefesh of the object that you're identifying with. The nefesh, as I say, the nefesh is quite a powerful thing, and if you use it correctly, then it's quite amazing what you can do. But now with the happiness technique, what happens is you project a thought or an idea from your nefesh to the other person's nefesh. You don't actually identify, you don't move your nefesh into the body of the other person. It's you project the thought from your nefesh into the nefesh of the other person. And through doing that, it then implants a thought in that person's mind. And as I say, they then get the idea to do a certain thing, and then they announce it and they go and do it. But it's actually what you wanted to do in the first place. You just never said it, never mentioned it to the person because you didn't have to. So the way it works is that first you need to find something about the other person that you're in awe of. Because the reason it's called happiness technique is because you need to generate a happiness and a gratitude and awe and an appreciation within yourself. So you smile within yourself and you smile toward the person. So you find something that you love about the person, you're in awe about the person. It might be that they wear nice shoes. It might be that they wear nice clothes. It might be that they're an incredibly kind person. It might be that they have a fantastic mustache. Whatever it may be, something that you see in that person and that you are inspired by, and it might not be physical. It might be something like they are an inspirational person, or they are an incredible business person. The way they go about marketing themselves might be like phenomenal or amazing, and you're in awe of this. So find that one thing, and then you well up that awe and that love and that inspiration in yourself, and you build it up and until you're smiling inside. And then you look at either their forehead, their temple, one of their temples, or the back of their head. So those are your points to aim for, and you project from your forehead, from your third eye, basically, a line of energy that moves from you to that point on that person, and you just let the thought flow out of you along the line into the person's head. And that's basically it. That's all it is. It's a really simple technique, very effective. And yeah, so that's it. That's the technique. Do you want to mention, if you find that the person, you can't find anything you like about the person. I remember when I was first taught this and I was trying it out, I was out somewhere at a bar or a restaurant or something, and I remember there being a guy there who was just a horrible person, and he had his little boy with him, and he was just being horrible to this little boy. He was pushing him around, he was shouting at him, and telling him to go do this, go do that, go get him a beer. I mean, this little kid was like 4 or 5 years old. And it was just an ugly, ugly person. I couldn't find anything that I felt was inspirational to me, or that I liked, or I found I was in awe of. There was nothing, absolutely nothing. And you might get this with people, because I wanted to actually practice this on him, because I wanted him to stop treating his son like he was. So I went back to Jacobus and I explained the whole situation. I said to him, what do you do if you can't find something you actually like about a person? And he said, there is always something. Consider the fact that this person was born innocent, and they were an innocent soul when they entered this world, and that is pure and perfect. So you can actually think back to that time when they were a pure and perfect little human being and a little soul, and they were happy, and they were a child, and they were innocent. And that's something you can hook onto and find appreciation with, and gratitude, and something you can like about the person. That's probably the only way I can think of actually liking somebody like I spoke of. Is this immoral? No, it's not. You're not forcing somebody to do your will. You're merely just implanting the thought into their mind so that they get the idea and it becomes their idea and their thought. And it doesn't do any harm. There's absolutely no harm done to the person whatsoever. So, yep, go and try it out, and see if you can influence the thoughts of the people around you. Try and come up with some ideas. Think about the people in your life, people you work with, for instance, or clients that you have. Maybe you're at a job and you want a raise. You've been putting the work in, but your boss just isn't giving you the raise. The money's there, so there's no harm to the company if you do get a raise. Consider all the angles. Make sure that what you're actually asking for, what you're wanting, what you're going to be implanting is moral, and there's no harm actually in any way, shape or form. But your boss is just a bit of a stickler and doesn't want to give you a raise. So try it on him to give you a raise. Why not? It's not going to harm him. It's not going to harm the business. It's just going to benefit you. So give that a try and see what happens. And until next time, cheers.